Hello, everyone. Megan McCann here, business strategy coach, and I am so excited to have this beautiful lady with me here. We have Pryia Malani, who is an entrepreneur and founder of Stash Wealth. Hi, Pryia.
Megan, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. So you have quite the resume, and even just reading and listening to your podcast, you are the founder of Stash Wealth, but you're also a financial planning and investment management firm for H.E.N.R.Y.s, which means high earners, not rich yet. And you left Wall Street, and your coin, did I hear this, that your coin is like the rebel of Wall Street?
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about that?
Wall Street's got it all wrong. And I say that affectionately and with a lot of love because I really grew up on Wall Street and learned everything that informs not only what we do, but what we don't do at Stash Wealth. So I'm very grateful for my time. I basically had my entire professional career was at Merrill Lynch, and it was an incredible training ground, but they don't do all the things right. So I got to learn a lot, and we definitely are the rebels of Wall Street, definitely trying to reshape what financial services needs to be for the next generation of wealth, those H.E.N.R.Y.s, high earners, not rich yet.
I love that. And you've been featured on CNBC, Girlsboss Radio, SiriusXM, among many others. And I think for me, what really spoke to me is that you are starting the conversation of a problem that's very real to millennials right now. In you and I were talking about this before we pressed record. In there really being a rise of female leadership and entrepreneurship, and women especially are starting to increase their earning potential, but at the same time, it's like that hamster wheel. Like, we're not dealing with student loans and, buying home and getting a loan and taking care of our families, where it almost seems like a rat race. And I love that you coined this term, high earners, not rich yet. So can you tell our viewers a little bit more about what that means to you?
Yeah, so H.E.N.R.Y.s are 20-somethings and 30-somethings who are making good money and just want something to show for it. And when you talk about female entrepreneurs and the rise of entrepreneurship in general, I'm sitting in a WeWork right now. WeWorks are popping up all over the place. And it's because entrepreneurship is we're all looking to be able to be our own boss and find that freedom. And personal finance is not taught in school, right? So neither is entrepreneurship. So just where do you go to find resources that can really help you navigate and avoid common pitfalls and get smart with your money quickly? Because studies show that we inherit sort of our beliefs, our values, our attitudes, our actions towards money from our upbringing and from our parents, and whether they were good, bad, average, judgment-free zone here, but our parents didn't necessarily talk to many of us about this stuff. So we really are out to create that space for millennials, H.E.N.R.Y.s, so that they can get smarter with their money across the board and find success more efficiently, quicker, in a more satisfying way.
Yeah. So if you were to sit down with someone who really fits within that framework, especially like a female, high earner, not rich yet, what would be one of the first steps you would guide them through in, ensuring that they are on their way to becoming financially independent? Like, are there certain, investment strategies that you would teach them?
It's such a good question, and everyone jumps to investing, right? Because like investing just seems like the key to success, and it seems like real adulting when it comes to our money. Like, I invest, I'm clearly but like actually investing like comes way down the line after you've done so many other smart things to build a really strong financial foundation. In fact, if you jump to investing before you have a strong financial foundation, that's like just not very smart, organized personal finance. So no, like taking a step back, just like the cornerstone of good personal finance is for most of us, just like even having cash savings. Like how do we save successfully? Because I feel like the conversation around saving and budgeting, it tends to go towards I'll save whatever's left over at the end of the month, but nothing's ever left over at the end of the month, right? We spend, we live our life, and we're, as millennials, we're not about compromising. We want to live our lifestyle. We want our avocado toast. We want the cold brew. We want the Soul Cycle. We want the Ubers. We want the, friend's bachelorette party and going to Cabo. I'm traveling for the gram. Like, I want to be able to live my lifestyle, but I also want to be like financially successful, and like finding that balance is really important and totally doable, but that's not the way Wall Street portrays wealth management, personal finance. All they talk about is investing, and that leads a lot of us to put the cart before the horse. So for us, it's about taking a step back, and when you say like what are some of the first things, I mean, the basics: establishing an emergency fund, talking about credit card debt, not having any credit card debt, and how do you navigate that, getting a handle on student loans, just like simple stuff too, like where's your paycheck direct depositing, entrepreneurs specifically, because I know a lot of your audience are entrepreneurs. One of the biggest mistakes we see entrepreneurs or people who have full-time jobs make, who are trying to transition into entrepreneurship, is just not giving themselves enough of a runway. Runway is probably the biggest thing that we talk to soon-to-be entrepreneurs or people who are transitioning into entrepreneurship about. And runway just really means cash. Like, how much cash do you have to be able to survive? And the more, the better.
So for somebody who is a beginning entrepreneur, and they want to start a business, I know for a lot of us, we hesitate to start a business because we don't have the capital yet. So what would you say to somebody watching right now who has an idea to maybe launch a product or start a consulting business? Financially, where would they even begin? Is there hope?
Of course. And actually, Stash Wealth is a bootstrapped firm. We've grown over the past 6-7 years, but we have never raised money on purpose for a whole bunch of reasons. That's like for another conversation, another day. But you don't have to raise money or like ask for capital or get, you don't have to get fundraising to build a successful company. That mindset in and of itself, you need to shift. In fact, the most successful companies are ones that don't bring capital in until later. If you think of your business as like a fire, you should think of funding or capital as fuel, not starter fluid. It's not how you start your business, it's how you grow your business. And I think most of us just think, because the conversation is, raising, like right now, raising is super sexy, and many entrepreneurs just think of raising as the end goal. Raising is not a goal. Raising is a tool to accomplish your goals. So jumping to the capital, it immediately eliminates the need to get creative. And women are super scrappy and super creative, I think. So just not preventing yourself from having that conversation by thinking money is the answer, it's defeating.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's one of the common biggest objections that women that come to me, or any men or women, it doesn't really matter, it's not gender specific, is they have a great idea and then the money is the first objection for anything. And I can tell you, I built 2 six-figure businesses out of absolutely nothing. And I really want to, part of this initiative in the Rock Your Money Summit is helping female entrepreneurs rewriting their money story so that it's no longer an objection. It can be a tool, but not a setback. And I love that you say you get to be creative, because I found that when I was at my lowest months trying to figure out, living in LA right out of grad school, how I was going to make rent, getting evicted, like that was when I was pushed up against a wall and I really had to get creative. in how I was going to survive. I didn't have any other option but then to try to figure it out. And those lessons that I learned when I was, evicted and living, on the couch and then back in with the parents, that was when those lessons I take with me to this day. And I wouldn't have the business that I have had I not been in that space.
Yeah, I love that's such a valuable story to share, because it's true. Those are the moments where you actually build the grit that allows you to be a successful entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is scary. It is a roller coaster. And even when you have money, it's
still scary.
Yeah. Like learning how to deal with that scary freak out space is a skill, and a very important skill. So yeah, like starting without money actually allows you to develop a lot of those just skills a lot faster, I think.
Yeah, I love that. I would love to hear more about your personal story. How did you get into finance?
So I think I talked about this on Girl Boss, but I was a dancer growing up. I studied ballet my whole life, and that was my first career. I danced professionally through college, like 50 hours a week plus full-time college student. And it was crazy. I loved it. I didn't really see myself doing anything outside of the arts, but, not ballet is, as it is, a short-lived career. And if your body starts deteriorating faster, there's just simply nothing you can do about it. And I sort of had that experience where I was, my body was just like breaking down, even in my early 20s, and B, and I don't find any shame in saying this, but I wanted to make really good money. And in ballet, it's really hard to do that. So, and some people choose that path, and that's amazing. For me, I wanted to, I get asked this, and I don't really know the exact moment or why, but I just knew I loved like the math aspect. I ended up becoming an econ major, and I graduated right out of college, right into Merrill Lynch. So I was actually an intern my senior year, and then was offered a job upon graduation, which was incredible. I'm not sure how the pivot happened, but I was a dancer too.
So when you were a child, did you think that you were going to, be a professional dancer when you grew up, and
that's what
would have been magical?
Yeah, princess ballerina, like that was like what I dreamed of. And I got to live a lot of it out, maybe not for a very long period of time, but it's cool to me to look back and know that I did that. And the discipline for me, that's what I've taken from my dance upbringing, was just being very good at taking constructive criticism and feedback, because that's really important to entrepreneurship, and the discipline. It's long hours, and it's been long hours for a very, very long time, and it doesn't let up. And those two things were instilled in me from dance. I'm really grateful. And then also just like being comfortable in front of large audiences, and that talking and I'm used to being up on stage. So like I like being in front and talking to audiences. That's also been important, because whether you're pitching to an investor or just like providing education on what you do best to an audience, dance has been, it impacts my career till today.
Awesome. Do you still dance?
I thought about taking up ballroom dancing. Because my knees hurt, my hips hurt. I'm like, it's my ballroom dancing. I love ballroom dancing. So I just want to I watch it. Like I'll watch, like YouTube videos of professional ballroom dancers, but I haven't got, stash wealth has not left too much time for extracurriculars, but that is big. I'm going to get back into dance.
Awesome. Maybe you can send me a video once you get back into that. I used to do cotillion growing up. It was so fun, and then awkward when it was like at that point where it was like to touch a boy was weird. I just remember getting so excited, but then not sure what to do with it. So Priya, I wanted to ask you, so circling back to Henry, high earners not rich yet. what does one need to do to get rich? What would be one of the top secrets you can share with our female entrepreneur audience?
Okay, and this applies to personal finance across the board. It applies to creating that runway that I spoke of. It applies to investing. It applies to everything. The key, in my opinion, to getting rich, whatever that means to you, is automation. Simply automating your financial life. And it's like, that sounds basic, but like, isn't that a good thing? Like, personal finance isn't rocket science, and most people try to portray it like it's this super complicated, you don't have the insider information in that stock, so you'll never hit it big. But that's not what it's about. It's simply discipline, automation, setting goals, and then putting a system in place that you can't fuck with. And that's why I think automation is so powerful, because once you set it up, you can't fuck with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't look at this month. This month was not, like this month was different, so I'll catch up next month. Like, when it's automated, you can't meddle. And that's how you
I'm so glad you said that, because as a business strategy coach, that's one of the main things that I help my clients to get to six figures and beyond is automation. You only have so many hours in the day. You only have so much capacity. But, royalty income, which, as you know, is passive income. We think that only actors and authors get it. But entrepreneurs that learn how to automate their systems to build passive income can create enormous wealth and still make the impact. So I love that you said that, because I think that's one of the key things. All my friends who are 6 and 7 figure earners, they have their systems automated in place, and then you don't fuck with it. You don't mess with it. Which is something I'm guilty of doing. I gotta perfect it. I gotta make it better, and then I end up screwing it up.
We're also all busy and don't need another thing on our to-do list. So why not find the best ways to automate your business, your money, your success, your goals, or progress towards your goals? Nothing is better than making progress without having to lift a finger.
Right.
That's really the key. That's what automation allows for. So that's our big, 10 years on Wall Street, my big tip is automate your financial life.
And then don't fuck with it. Don't get up at 3 a.m. and be like, oh, I have to change my ad or whatever.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, Priya, if anybody is watching this video and wants to find you, where can they get a hold of you or learn more about the resources that you provide?
Definitely. So obviously stashwealth.com, check out our website. You'll find us on Instagram at stashwealth, and you'll find me on Instagram at Priya Malani Official.
Awesome. And I know you have some awesome gifts that you're going to be giving our audience, which we will post below. But thank you so much for your time. Like I said, I was so excited to get to nerd out with you about finance and hear it from the woman herself, founder of Stash Wealth. And I just really want to acknowledge you for touching on an issue that's very real to a lot of young men and women today. And there aren't a whole lot of people with solutions. And I feel like you're delivering that. So thank you so much for the service that you provide. And hopefully I get to see you in person soon.
Yeah. I have one last tip I just want to give out to your the female entrepreneurs who are struggling with reinvesting in the business and really never understanding like when you're profitable, how much to pay yourself. There's a book that we recommend to all our entrepreneurial clients here at Stash Wealth. It's called Profit First.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm reading it right now, and everyone in my mastermind is nerding out over it.
Okay, awesome. It's Mike McCallowitz, such a good book. I mean, I'm not even affiliated, but I think it's such a great book for any entrepreneur, no matter what business, product, service-based, it doesn't really matter. Really understanding how to think through setting up your business to understand when you're profitable, how much to reinvest, how to know your operating costs, how to know when you can hire employees, like all those things. All those answers come from Profit First in a really, really easy way. You can kind of just read the first couple chapters and you'll get it, anyone. So
yeah. No, it's so funny. I had one of a woman, Wendy Berlin, who's going to be speaking at the summit as well. She is a successful accountant, and she spoke at one of my events and then sent me the book in the mail as a gift, as a thank you. And then I swear to God, I had the book in my hands, and then all of a sudden I'm getting like text messages from people talking about this book and posts on social media. So it seems to be impacting a lot of people, and it's a great tool for entrepreneurs to learn how to delegate their money. So they are taking the profit first and no longer in that hamster wheel.
Right. Yeah, that's the key to the hamster wheel.
Yeah. Awesome. Priya, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon.
This was fun. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.